Aadhaar's relevance has remained limited to direct subsidy transfer only, and that's because the Supreme Court has refused to relent. The government's plea to make Aadhaar mandatory has now been referred to a larger bench. Remember, on August 11, 2015, a three-judge bench limited the scope of the Aadhaar and said no government benefits can be conditional to use of Aadhaar ID, and also said that it will be used for only for PDS and LPG7 and kerosene distribution schemes, and that was contested by the government with a plea, and that plea has not made the Supreme Court relent. And it's the big story that's just broken minutes before the show began. And we will be getting you all the news and views on this big story that's broken just as we speak. Just for viewers just joining in, the Supreme Court has refused to modify the order on Aadhaar for now. It's a big setback for the UID project as a whole. Remember, this comes on the back of the August 11th, 2015 order in which a three-judge bench limited the scope of Aadhaar or the UID and said no government benefits can be conditional to the use of Aadhaar, and that order also said that the government will publicize that Aadhaar is not mandatory. The production of Aadhaar card will not be the condition for obtaining benefits otherwise due to the citizens. Let's hear out a few voices on that big story that just broke minutes before.
What the Supreme Court bench has said is exactly the call of the conscience. And they've actually referred this to a larger bench. So the scenario is crystal clear. There are some big problems in this entire Aadhaar ecosystem that we have developed. And the Supreme Court is cognizant of all these challenges. And that's why, keeping in mind these various challenges, the Supreme Court has said let a bigger bench decide the same, because if there are going to be fundamental problems in the way how you're going to erect a building, and there are problems and defects in its foundation, the said foundation with a defective structure would definitely impact the superstructure that's going to be built on the foundation. As far as Aadhaar is concerned, one of the biggest drawbacks is that Aadhaar is not an action that's mandated by an act of Parliament. There's no act passed by Parliament which has actually authorized the collection of Aadhaar. On the contrary, Aadhaar has just become a part of an executive action without any legislative mandate. So clearly the legality of Aadhaar in a country like ours is itself in question. Notwithstanding the fact that so many millions and crores of people have come on Aadhaar, that still does not take away the fundamental issues that actually plague Aadhaar. First is its legality. Second, in Aadhaar you are actually collecting not just normal information but biometric information. And the biggest question that everybody has in their mind is, well, does the Aadhaar ecosystem comply with the Indian cyber law or the rules and regulations made thereunder? Why? Because Aadhaar has been issued to a dead person, to a tree, and to a large number of other non-existent legal entities. So the entire biometric database of India is itself not one which can be purely relied upon as being absolutely authenticated. On top of it, you have this immense problem, because when you are collecting this entire biometric information, this is information that's intrinsically linked with people's data privacy and personal privacy. And Aadhaar does not seem to really address any of these concerns pertaining to violation of privacy of individuals per se. Now, this is the time where the Supreme Court needs to come in and take up a decisive kind of a decision, and they've said let the bigger bench decide, and I think I endorse the thought process of.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.